Hi, I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this week I would just like to thank our lovely theme song tune creator, musician, mad genius for bamboozling me and giving me a week where all of my notes just ended up being random drawings scribbled on the walls around me. I'm basically surrounded by Kevin hieroglyphs.
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I spent 4 hours in line to meet the weird one, and it was amazing. And I might have peed a little, and he looked at me funny, but he liked my Scooby Doo igloo cooler, so that was awesome. Yeah, I'm still geeking out. I've been geeking out for days.
Hi, I'm Craig, film enjoyer living in England, and I watched all 4 of this week's films on the same day, just in a row, just one after the other. And I don't recommend watching these 4 films in that fashion.
I pulled off 3 in a day, and I had to tag out.
It's there's some real whiplash, some real mental whiplash going on in there. Ooh.
I'm Tyler Hosley, and I like fucking pinball machines. And this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay!
So because I was guest hosting on Mike and Jose's Watch Skip Plus, awesome podcast, great guys, great people. I went and saw I Know You Did Last Summer again for the second time. The movie's amazing. Favorite movie of 2025 by far. Fucking love that movie. Can't wait till it's out on digital so I can watch it again and make you guys watch it as well. But besides that, just more TV. I started watching a show on Netflix. I guess it's brand new. It's called The Hunting Wives. It's got Malin Ackerman and Brittany Snow and the guy that was in Scream 6. I forgot his name. The cop. Fuck. He was in My Best Friend's Wedding. I'm forgetting his name. Jesus Christ.
Top guy.
He's
now
a McDermott or Mulroney, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It was.
Yes.
It's McDermott, right? No.
Yeah. Dermot Mulroney. Yes.
Yeah.
But he's in that as well. But it's so far it's really good. Malin Ackerman and Brittany Snow have lesbian sex scenes. So I mean that's all you need to know. Just that's it. And but it's really good so far. And I'm not done, but I'll finish it shortly. And besides that, that's pretty much just me.
As well as being one of your favourite slashes, Tyler, is I Know What You Did Last Summer, just a little mark stamped on your favourite sock.
Yes.
Just curious.
Oh, yes. My favorite sock that I have shoved under my bed. It's really crusty, but, you know, it's just sitting there.
That's not crust, that's flavor.
You know, if you crush it up and snort it, you can sniff cock sand.
Jesus Christ.
I immediately regret making that joke.
You started that, Kevin, not me.
You should have known where that was. I did watch a lot this week. I watched just a couple of things. I watched The Channel, which is a kind of heist action thriller by a guy called William Kaufman. Everyone keeps going on about him. Well, certain types of person go on about him. He's apparently the king of tactical action scenes, which really kind of gives me, you know, that guy who open carries at Dunkin' Donuts because he thinks he's going to get called up any minute. It gives quite douchey vibes when they call him the king of tactical action. But I get it. Like, having watched one of his films, like the gunfights are pretty gnarly despite some ropey CGI. And there's a really good like The Shield style, like a foot chase through a bunch of houses and through a New Orleans neighborhood. Like, the action's really solid throughout. The performances are all over the place. Some are decent. Who's the guy who played Riggs in the TV show of Lethal Weapon?
I should
remember.
know that, and I cannot
Is it
remember.
Colton something?
Yes, Colton.
I don't think it's
No,
Colton, so that's not going to help us.
No.
It's
Oh.
Clayne Crawford.
Clayne
Yes, that's
Crawford.
it. Right.
He's okay in it. Like he's in this film and thinks it's a bit below him, which it is. I think he's kind of an underrated actor, but he's okay. And Max Martini is like just chewing all the scenery, and it's fun. Like it kind of wants to be Heat. It kind of wants to be whatever Den of Thieves is to Heat. This wants to be that to Den of Thieves, but it's more like a David Ayer film, really. So I think Tyler would enjoy it. I don't know if you've seen it, Tyler.
I have not, but I want to now.
If you use like a sliding scale, Heat is 5 stars, Den of Thieves 4 stars. Then this could sit at 3. It's a solid gunfighty heist film. It's all right. Called The Channel type T.
Right.
Yeah, scribble that one down, and then wait there. I've lost my notes. And then I watched Fist of the North Star because I watched Wicked City. It was like I need to watch some like old school. I know manga is the comics, but everything was called manga in the 90s. Was it a company that released films over here?
That doesn't.
Because we never called it anime in the 90s. Everything was manga. All the animation that came away was called manga. But I really wanted to watch one, so I watched Fist of the North Star, which is I picked it for the show and missed the episode, I think. So you all watched it before. It's super fun. I've loved Fist of the North Star like 16, 17. It is really dumb. It is really violent. It is really melodramatic. It's weird how it makes just like wandering around in the desert, punching enemies in sequence, kind of messy as a narrative. The narrative is a bit all over the place and just a bit messy, but generally it's super fun. It's just insane violence and people saying things like death shouldn't be rushed. One should savor it like fine wine in its aroma. Just dumb shit like that, and I just have so. And I had a weird thought whilst watching it. I realised which director would make a perfect live action version of Fist of the North Star, and it's a director I don't really like, but I think Zack Snyder would make a perfect live action Fist of the North Star because it's his lane. It's kind of what he'd tried to do with Man of Steel. Like this is the film he keeps trying to make. So I would actually I'd queue up for a Zack Snyder Fist of the North Star with all sorts of exploding heads and shit. That'd be awesome. Apart from that, I am just rewatching Oz because I just wanted to watch an old favourite, and I don't know. Calling it comfort viewing is insane. There's like a murder and a rape per episode. It is absolutely the most deranged and vicious television program ever made. But it's comfort viewing to me now. I just reached a point where Beecher and Keller fall in love and get super gay with it. So having a good time with Oz, and that's me.
Was the company Animigo? I just remembered them. They were big here in the 80s and 90s.
I'm not sure. I remember a logo and it just said manga, and everything we got in this country on every bit of anime we got on VHS came through this company called Manga. So Akira and Wicked City, they all had the same label. So I guess it was just a company that released them in the UK.
Yeah, I guess. Although it's one of those things that sounds familiar and it's just not clicking. Like nothing is clicking today. It's been a long fucking week. It's been a really
you've been fanboying.
I've been fanboying
so like
hard.
crazy.
Oh, I fanboyed so hard. So I didn't watch any movies. There were too many movies to watch this week. Too many movies that made me go so I've been watching more TV instead because the new anime season is a few weeks deep. So I've been catching up on Don to Don, and and the new season of Bunny Girl Senpai, which are both really good, and you should watch. You won't. Nobody listens to me when I say these things. Like I've been telling Craig for months to watch
I've watched
Don to
the first
Don.
episode. Dan da dan. Dan da
Yeah.
dan. Dan
Dan to
da dan.
Dan. Dan to
Yeah,
Dan.
so I will watch more because the first episode was excellent.
It's so good and it gets better. I'd actually tell Tyler to watch, but Tyler would look at me like I'm fucking insane, like I have two heads. But that wouldn't be. Oh, and Strange New Worlds is back, so I've been watching Star Trek too. So that's me. And if Paramount wasn't fucking stupid, which well they are, they would just give the Strange New Worlds people money to make a movie instead of constantly fucking with shitty reboot attempts that fell flat for 10 years. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
Did Strange New Worlds always have like a lot of comedy? Because I've noticed a lot of comedy in this
Yes.
season. Okay.
Yeah, it's always had some. I mean,
saw-
they do like the over preachy episodes, but there's always like a little wake and a nod.
Okay, because someone had it on the back room at work, and I was like, God, they added like a lot of comedy in this. I never really, I haven't watched Strange New Worlds yet, but I didn't realize it had that much comedic stuff in there, which is fine. I just haven't watched it yet.
Next generation like remake has to be coming now. Surely they've done the Shatner years in movie form.
That is not going to happen. Not as long as Patrick Stewart draws breath.
Well, that probably won't be very long. I mean,
True,
I don't want to be mean, but
well, no. I mean, the thing is, the fan base is way too twee about Next Generation. Still,
yeah.
I think one of the worst Trek things ever was the last 2 seasons of Picard, but they gave them all the member berries. So if you say that online, they come for you and dox you and send the SWAT team to your house again. Thanks
Actually, there are a lot of hard to replace people.
Yeah.
That whole cast is actually quite hard to replace.
Oh yeah,
like Riker and.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be an impossible task. I mean, they'll do it someday. It's just not going to be. It's going to be at least another decade. At least another decade.
I watched Ballerina, which I enjoyed, but I enjoyed more because I mean, it was another star vehicle for Anna de Armas, and the third act has a lot of better stuff, but she still deserves a much better film around her talents, I would say. Ballerina's good, but a lot of the time you're watching it thinking, yeah, could have watched one of the John Wicks again instead.
Is it a best ever team up with Keanu Reeves, or is that still Knock Knock?
That's still Knock Knock, because when Keanu Reeves appears in this, yeah, I mean, it underlines that feeling of, yeah, I could have watched a John Wick. Yeah.
Or Knock Knock.
So, yeah, or Knock Knock.
You should love yourself more than that, Kevin.
And Gabriel Byrne is in this as the big bad, and he's I mean, he's okay, but I kind of wanted him to do a bit better. The Norman Reedus scenes aren't great. It all feels a bit thrown together desperately, which I think may have been the case when you hear about the way things were put behind the scenes. Apparently, I know Tyler will stand by Len Wiseman, but there's a very strong rumor or substantiated claim that Chad Stahelski did quite a bit of reshooting to get this more in line with how they wanted it. But there is, the third act is so good at times that I did wish it was the third act or even the second half of a better movie, because they use a whole like really picturesque, interesting village. There's some interesting weaponry and fun stuff being shown. And yeah, it's good. So I did end up enjoying it to the level of a Kevin 7. You'll be shocked to know. I watched Echo Valley, which was on Apple and is a thriller with Julianne Moore, Sydney Sweeney, and Donald Gleason. That was quite good. Although I find now that whenever I watch a film with Julianne Moore, I keep thinking of that clip that I saw with someone doing an impression of her while she's sitting beside them. It's very funny. Is Julianne Moore, is she laughing or is she crying? It's very good. I can't recall who the lady is that's doing the impression, but it's quite spot on. But Echo Valley, I'm assuming none of you watched that.
I have not.
I started it. I did not finish it.
It's not even on Tyler's radar. Tyler's like, what?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, this I would say once again it is like the second half, third act that's the better part. I didn't mind the first half, but it picks up in the second half. So I can see people tuning in if they don't have the patience for it, not wanting to stick with it. But it does, it becomes worthwhile. And I fancy something a bit retro and a bit possibly problematic. So I watched Mannequin. Mannequin's on Prime Video over here. I've probably not watched Mannequin since the late 80s. Watching Mannequin made me wonder why there was a whole conversation about that Bratz documentary that Andrew McCarthy did, where he was, slightly put out of his sort of exit from the limelight and not attaining maybe the stellar heights of some of the other Brat Pack cast members.
Well, there's two things Gen Xers love, Kevin. Fascism and member berries.
Right. Well, what they shouldn't love is Andrew McCarthy, because like he's pretty terrible in Mannequin. He's not good, but it is saved by Kim Cattrall. So there is that, and it has. I forgot James Spader's in this, being such a greasy, slimy, snide exec type that he's very, very close to the Jeffrey Combs character in The Frighteners. Like his hair's that greased, he's got those mannerisms, and I was like, Jeffrey Combs could have done this role, or maybe at some point James Spader could have taken on the Frighteners role. And the guy, I forget his name, who was in the Police Academy movies, like he is fun with this, with the physical comedy and doing what needs to be done. So there is that. I was never a fan of, I think his name's Mishash Taylor, who plays Hollywood, and it's strange that they I think he's the one cast member who was carried over to the sequel, and the sequel didn't exactly set the world alight. So
no, but the sequel is more fun.
Is it?
Yeah. It I think so. I've watched them both with Kill over the last couple years, and I think they're more fun.
Sometimes my brain just wants to switch off in a very particular way. Like I watched Mannequin and I was like, do I not have time for Weekend at Bernie's? And then I've got other things to do. I've got a life to lead and stuff to watch for the podcast.
To be fair,
this is the greatest corpse in cinematic history. You got to
yeah. I mean,
got to give it to him.
Yes.
I mean, 2 would be better with Kim Cattrall, but everything's better with Kim Cattrall.
Yeah.
I will say this for Andrew McCarthy. Yeah, we know he's a shit actor and an absolute shit filmmaker after seeing the Brat Pack movie. But you know what he was pretty decent at? Travel writing. He was an editor at large for Nat Geo for like 15, 20 years.
Um, I don't know. I think, I mean, he's sort of doing what he's asked to do in a way. You know, here you are, you have this girlfriend who's very successful in business and will support you while you go about on your motorbike. You can wear suit trousers with trainers because you're wacky like that, and you don't hold a job down for more than a day, but you have a massive open plan apartment with a piano in it that will just show this isn't a film about logic, but you know, do your thing. And he does that. He's just, I think for him being, you know, the male lead in this movie, he's not, like, he doesn't do it well enough for being an appealing male lead. But I've liked him more in other stuff. So you know, it's just, I think overall Mannequin isn't the one that people would put at the top of their CV as a showcase of any of their talents, apart from maybe Estelle Getty if she's wanting to promote her film work ahead of TV work, because she's going to put Mannequin ahead of Stop or My Mum Will Shoot, surely. It's just, there's just no other order for that to go in. I think that's me. I've sort of lost track and been, you know, I've had my brain addled by
Battered.
Linus. Yeah, we're watching his choices, and I was like, actually, I really thought Linus would have come out swinging with a special with like Barbarian Sound Studio, make us rewatch Flux Gourmet, and I don't know, A Clockwork Orange, and maybe Tron or so. I was just like, keyboard, stop. But
I mean,
but no.
sort of.
I asked him, but apparently Lucio she has not made Godzilla film, so that's why he didn't beat
Yet.
that.
Yeah. I mean, we somehow escaped the Beyond. Have we already done the Beyond for the podcast?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Oh, maybe
No,
that's
no.
why.
This week we watched a 4-pack of films picked by our friend and theme song composer Linus Fitness-Centre. How's it going, buddy? We watched 1972 giallo, All the Colors of the Dark. Original title Tutti colori del buio. My Italian is terrible. I'm so sorry. The 1978 British horror film The Shout. The 1991 Japanese cyberpunk horror 964 Pinocchio, and the 1992 Hong Kong live-action adaptation of a Japanese anime and novel series, The Wicked City. Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it?
I would love to. I'm going to go with my favorite movie of the week, which oddly I don't have that many notes for, but I'm still going with that one. I'm going with 964 Pinocchio, which is about a lobotomized cyborg sex slave who is abandoned by his owners due to his inability to maintain an erection while the corporate entity plans to kill him. I fucking love 964 Pinocchio, guys. I mean, it's just fucking nasty, nauseating, bizarre, experimental as fuck piece of underground cyberpunk weirdness. It's wonderful. The whole thing has this just wonderfully chaotic, deranged energy running through every fucking frame. I mean, this was for sure edited in between like snorting massive lines of coke. 100%. I mean, not bumps of coke, like lines, full fucking lines. There's just so much frenetic, in your face, gonzo chaos. I mean, it's exhausting and it just makes me happy. I love it. Tons of screaming, there's vomit, snot, bodily fluids everywhere. I love the score, the sound effects, the practical effects are fucking amazing. This is definitely what it feels like to be like lobotomized in the form of this weird ass Japanese cinema. Just I love it. I picked Rubber's Lover, like what was that, like a couple years back, which is the sequel to this movie, and I love that movie dearly. I think this movie's great, but man, this one is special, guys. I mean, it's fucking great. I couldn't recommend it to most human beings, but I just adore it, and y'all should too. It's great. It's so good.
It's been a long time since we watched Rubber's Lover. I mean, I want to say that it was at least 5 years ago now.
Was it pre-pandemic? It probably
I think
was.
so. Yeah, it was when we did the cyberpunk special, when we watched Johnny Mnemonic also. It's been a long time.
Jesus, that was a long ass time ago.
Yeah. I really like 964 Pinocchio also. I don't like it as much as Tyler. I think it doesn't quite come together with what it's trying to say, but this is kind of a issue with this period of Japanese underground cinema where they have a lot of great ideas, but they just kind of cram it all fucking together. And instead of like having a narrative, they just kind of tape it together with screaming and grunting. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I would not put this on par with Electric Dragon 80,000 volts or Tetsuo the Iron Man. Just me. I do think it's really good for what it is, though. Well, it actually does have a budget, but for a weird spin on modern existence and the lack of connection, I think it does a lot of interesting things. And there's some absolutely fantastic shots. Like, if we just take this as a piece of filmmaking, the low budget guerrilla style really works. And I love the absolutely terrified look of some Asian commuters in the background around Tokyo as they're just screaming, running down the street, pulling like a boulder in a straitjacket painted white with blood dripping from their mouth. And people are pulling their children out of the way. I like it. It is a good one. Again, I don't think it totally sticks the landing, but Haji Suzuki as Pinocchio it's a really visceral performance. An-chan, it's a pseudonym, plays Himiko, and she is really good. Like she really does bring it because she plays two absolutely terrifying versions of the same character. There's two modes, and one mode is just ridiculously nightmarish, and she's great. I really, really enjoy it. I prefer Rubber's Lover. If I'm being honest, I would definitely put Rubber's Lover above 964 Pinocchio. I just think it sticks the themes and the ideas better. But for this, like, if you have not seen any underground Japanese cyberpunk from the 90s, this is about as good an introduction as you can get into. It dabbles with concepts of autonomy and memory and belonging between outsiders, and then it becomes a hallucinogenic thrill ride mental breakdown. I think there's a lot of awesome going on. I do kind of wish that it was a little bit more cohesive in the first half. Just really like stick that landing and then go off on your wild ride. I love the wild ride though. It is completely and totally entertaining, and I've said it before. It's rare that a movie surprises me, but I remember the first time I saw 964 Pinocchio, and I could not have guessed anything that happens in this movie. And still today I watch it and I go, how the fuck did we get here? And I kind of love it for that. Again, I am a big fan, but like T, I don't think I do not think I would recommend it to many people, but I would recommend Rubber's Lover. So if you want something really weird, double feature them. Fuck yeah. And then do Meatball Machine and Tetsuo. Just watch them all in one day in a dark room by yourself.
Don't do it.
You should definitely do it that way.
Yeah, I really, really liked this one. I hadn't seen it before. It's cyberpunk with punk in capital letters. It is. So this is some seriously like punk rock fucking filmmaking. Like, I love this era of Japanese movies where they don't have a lot of money. They don't necessarily show off a lot of classic cinema skills and the way they shoot it. It's I don't know how to put it. It's like they just everything is shot like a skate video or like an episode of Jackass. It's kind of the guerrilla style is just really, really impressive, and it's a great looking film. I don't know how great it looks, but it looks fantastic, and there's such energy to it. Is fucking. Did anyone think this? Does this remind anyone of the film Danny the Dog?
Yeah, I see that.
With Jet Li.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was picking that up all along, and I thought this was an influence, but I don't know. But yeah, I really, really fucking liked this. It's the cast are all really good. They're dedicated as fuck. I haven't seen a more dedicated performance in a while. Like I love the three shitty employees. They're really one makes it to the act and just spends that entire third act screaming. He was really good. I love how the words I put in my confrontingly grotesque. Like it goes for it. It wants to upset you. Like just about every scene is too long, but then it circles back to being like exactly as long as it to be. Like there's a scene of a woman pretending to be a train until she starts vomiting huge amounts of rice. It's like tribute to possession, which I did not expect in this like weird Japanese cyberpunk film, and it goes on forever, and it's just you get sick of it, and then it just becomes funny. It's definitely someone just pushing you. It's button pushing punk rock filmmaking. You're not like punk rock way. It's punk rock in somebody just sticking their finger in your eye for 90 minutes, and it's a blast. I really, really had a great fucking time with this one, and I'm going to rush out and get the Blu-ray as soon as I can. Woo! I mean, I did not understand everything that happened in that third act, especially the last 10 minutes, but I didn't care. It just all came together just beautifully. I'm a big fan.
I was not such a big fan, and this was the first of the films I watched for this week, and my main thought was, Linus, what the fuck have you done to me? Why would you want to leave me so hurt and confused? And how am I going to talk about this on the podcast? So thanks, Linus. It was interesting. It did grow on me. I'm kind of more in line with Dave, and I think I don't know. It's like although the second half and the lead up to the ending is still quite bonkers, and it is all of a piece. It is very much in line. It somehow feels a bit sort of sharper and more propulsive and more. It's almost like it's carrying you along at a greater speed, so that you know better than to try and think of everything in a standard sort of film narrative way, if that makes sense. So it's just easier to go along with it. So in the second half into the third act, I found it easier to go along with and to enjoy that punk style and the madness of it, and particularly the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes. Had me amused and entertained. I still didn't have a clue what the hell had gone on, but by that point, I had enjoyed enough of it compared to how I felt at the start when I was just trying to figure things out and piece them together. And then I did, I got enough of, the different characters and their places, their rough relationship to one another. But I'd forgotten that we'd watched Rubber's Lover, so I'd looked up this director on Wiki, Shozun Fuki, and I loved it on Wikipedia. It said, it was going about his shorts, along with 2 full-length films, 964 Pinocchio and the, in quotation marks, truly bizarre Rubber's Lover. I'm like, have you seen 964 Pinocchio? Because it's not truly unbizarre. It's this was definitely an interesting watch, and I'd agree if people have seen the likes of Tetsuo and stuff like Meatball Machine, then if you have an idea of what you're getting into and you like that, then dive in. The water's lovely. If you've never dipped your toes in there at all, then don't go near it for quite some time. I feel bad because I've started off on a bit of a low note, but I did end up kind of liking it, and yeah, like it still didn't all make sense, but I appreciated that I didn't have to worry about that.
Kevin, it's a Japanese cyberpunk movie. The fact that it makes as much sense as it does makes it an outlier in the genre. Like, we've covered Meatball Machine and Tetsuo. Like, do you remember? Like, do you actually remember those movies?
No, Dave. That's why I use Letterboxd. I don't remember half of the movies that we watched.
You should not hold things making sense against this subgenre, man.
I'm worried that Kevin's forgotten these films. I'm worried he's going to have a 964 Pinocchio moment where all the memories of these films invade his mind like at once, and he's running screaming through Durham. And
look, if both versions of Meatball Machine crashed into my head suddenly, I would be screaming through the streets of Durham. And then I go into the subway and piss out my forehead and vomit out my butt.
Right, well, I didn't think I would say this, but I am moving on to the film that I think I can most easily describe for the next choice, and that is The Shout. 1978 British horror film. There's Alan Bates, Susanna York, and John Hurt as the main characters. There's also Tim Curry in a small supporting role. Alan Bates plays Crossley, a man who comes into a small village and starts. Well, he basically imposes himself upon this couple, Rachel and Anthony, played by Susanna York and John Hurt. And Anthony is a composer who works with accumulated different sounds rather than just traditional instrumentation. And then Crossley tells him the tale of a shout that he learned from the Aborigines.
Yeah.
And could have the power to kill a man. And things go from there. Now, I mean, this is a film I've known about for years. I think it's held up as a bit of a cult classic in British cinema. I mean, it is British cinema. It's directed by a Polish film director, and I think you pronounce his name Jerzy Skolmowski, and I'm going with that. And why I'm mentioning his name is because He also did. There's a really good film he did called Deep End. I don't know if any of you have seen Deep End.
No.
I have not.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
Deep End is a good one. And
Yeah.
here's another one. The Departure. I think that's pretty good too.
Well, I don't think I've seen any of his other stuff, and he's probably, he's probably the sort of person I would forget to seek out work from, because Deep End feels like one of those weird little movies where you're like, well, they probably haven't done many other movies because this is such an odd, wonderful little thing. I can't see this making up a huge body of work, but he's if he's done more stuff than that and The Shout, I kind of want to be checking them all out, because I'll always recommend Deep End and The Shout. It's I really liked it. Again, I'm not necessarily clear on exactly how everything panned out, but it essentially boils down to a mental battle of wills between Hart's character and the character played by Bates, with Susanna York being in the middle of it. So you've got the just really who believes in something stronger and what can be done to combat against or protect against any magic that you might be thinking is directed your way. I really like this. It's kind of it's nicely in line with some other movies that we've discussed, actually, where British cinema does this good job of either using horror or sci-fi elements, or just sort of bringing drama from the idea of the awkwardness of someone coming to visit and maybe not leaving quickly enough, or maybe just causing tension while they're in your home. Now, that's not necessarily just a British thing, but it feels like a well-handled British thing. Like, I was watching this and thinking of Prey. Remember the Norman J. Warren movie Prey?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's that weird thing. We like, I mean, even Tyler will remember, because two women who are lesbians living out in the middle of nowhere, and a guy turns up. And
A cat guy.
he's-
A
yeah.
cat guy. Yeah.
Remember
Yep.
that, T?
Yes, I do. Now I remember it.
I mean, they're very different movies, but they've got that central sort of exploration of people who aren't really best pleased at having this guest, but don't say, just fuck off, because you can't do that, because it's Britain at a certain time. You can't say, no, we're just about to eat on our own, just fuck off, because then the whole film would have been over, and that would be it. I just thought it was great. Bates is like, he's quite mesmerizing, and I mean that almost literally. He's fantastic here. Hart is just really good at someone who has to fight a battle they didn't realize they were inviting over their doorstep. I think York's really good, but because of her role, because of being caught up in the middle of it without necessarily being as sort of consciously aware of things going on, it's a bit tricky. But she is very good in that role, and there's some like really, like, it's really sneaky and devilish in how well put together it is. There's enough to keep you on your toes and confused, particularly I think the framing, but I like the fact that you could read that in a couple of different ways. There's also, there's a sequence where a woman is basically getting ready for a sexual encounter, and it cuts to, I forget the exact dialogue, but it's someone saying like, "Oh, thank goodness you're open," or something like that. And I was like, that seems like a bit of a cheeky juxtaposition there. And I thought that was all, it was all quite deliberate in my mind. Like every edit, every sort of crossover bit of dialogue, everything is really well done. And obviously the audio work is like really, really good and interesting throughout as well. I was just I was a big fan of this, and I think it's one of those films where you could probably rewatch it at least 3 or 4 times and start picking out different little details to focus on and dissect. Whether you're doing that, correctly or incorrectly, you can go off on your own little spiral. So this was my this was my great my great relief after thinking I'd be mired just disappointing Linus with not loving 964 Pinocchio.
Shall I go?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
T's got to go. T's got to
me?
go.
He's got to go. Okay.
T's got to go. It's either you or me. I've got to pick the next one. So T's got to go.
Okay.
This was actually my least favorite movie of the week. It does have some good things in it. It looks great, and the editing and sound design are really good. It also has a really strange, almost like super uncomfortable atmosphere, which I liked. And Tim Curry pops up rocking a preppy cricket sweater, so that was cool. Tim Curry's a legend. John Hurt is always awesome too. I love John Hurt, and it does have I feel like it could have symbolism for days. This movie you could learn more about it, find new stuff to like on rewatch. But for me, the movie itself is I thought it was really boring, and it just falls apart in the second and third act for me. I kind of dug where it was going in the first act. It kind of had me, and then it just lost me. It's terribly paced, just awful paced. I thought this was just so agonizingly slow to the point that it just really kept losing me. I was dozing watching this. I had to keep rewinding because I just kept dozing. But the story makes no fucking sense, and not in a good incoherent way like Wicked City, which you'll hear shortly. This whole thing just feels like a really bad short story from Stephen King stretched to feature length. I have no issues with the performances. Alan Bates is good. Susanna York is fine, but as atmospheric as it is, I think the movie is just a meandering mess, and it's just really boring. I wanted to like this one because I did like the atmosphere, but story wise, this did absolutely nothing for me. Unfortunately, I just was not a fan of this one.
Shall I, or do you want to pick next, Craig?
You go.
Okay, well that works because I'm in line with Tyler. I recognize that this is decently made, and I recognize that Alan Bates, Susanna York, and John Hurt are giving decent performances. The problem with this movie is the screenplay is kind of shit. It is absolute shit because Crossley is a terrible fucking villain to center it around. Not only that, he's the guy telling the fucking story, and he can't even make himself interesting. This is the film about a man that shows up, says the dumbest bullshit ever immediately. And somehow, because they're English, they're like, oh yes, please stick around for tea. Stay for a month. No. Fuck you, movie. At least make him dynamic. Make the character seductive and interesting and give me a reason why these people want to be around him besides, oh, it's magic. It's magic. Fuck you. No, I fucking hated this movie. This was just lazy crap pretending to be a horror movie. I think if we took this cast and this director and we gave them a solid anything else script to work on, they would have delivered something fantastic. And instead, we have this pile of wank that is tediously long, dull as hell, and has nothing to say about anything. Not a fucking thing to say. And to make it worse, the other characters are nothing. Susanna York gives a strong performance, but Rachel Fielding is not a character. She is just a piece of meat. John Hurt, always a fantastic actor. Dude, brilliant. But his character is nothing. Like, we don't get into why his music is what it is. And his music is just insufferable. I failed out of art school, but I have a bunch of equipment. Let me smack my microphone into the wall. Bullshit. I hated this movie. It is only 86 minutes, and it felt interminable to me. This was the last one I watched. All the others, I could get caught up in. This one, I was begging for it to end 20 minutes in. I do not understand the appeal of this movie at all. Maybe if I was English, I would get it more, but instead, this is just a waste of talent and time to me. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, Dave is right. He is too American to understand why this film is so good. I had a really good time with this one. I found it to be a very, very interesting movie. There are lots of things I like in movies, but two things I happen to like. I like films about a stranger inveigled. A stranger like works his way into another relationship and plays havoc. I like those, but I really like films about people in spiritual crisis, and this is a very, very British look at spiritual crisis. If you look at what it's known for, it's like they go all around the world and they come back with all these spices which they've stolen from people, and then eat the most spiceless food. And it's not just that we eat spiceless food. We also went across the world and we saw every culture you could imagine, and then we returned to the most like spiceless spirituality, like just the dullest version of spirituality. I mean, you see John Hurt in church in a couple of scenes, and he is just spiritually adrift, because who the fuck could find anything interesting or magical in like the church in England? I mean, so you've got this character who's ended up like so spiritually adrift that he has to intellectualize like everything, to the point where, you know, they have a house guest who just casually mentions infanticide, and they're even intellectualizing that. There's nothing there. There's a spiritual yearning, though. That's what his music's about. He's literally listening to the earth. He's listening to everything, looking for something, which he doesn't know. He doesn't even know what he's looking for it, and he finds it in Alan Bates's character, who is the total opposite of him. He is spirituality, and I think Alan Bates is fantastic. His eyes, the most intense thing I've ever seen. Just does so much for them. He's fantastic. John Hurt's fantastic. The atmosphere for me, it was incredible. It gave me some serious like Picnic at Hanging Rock vibes. You know, the way that the incidental music, you know, matches the look of it, like the jagged landscapes. Like, it creates this really, really eerie fucking atmosphere of just, how do I put it? It's just a great fucking atmosphere, frankly, and for me, it kind of makes sense. Even the easy stuff with the shoes and the rocks, it sort of makes sense to me in a way that Hurt finds his spirituality in what he was doing and uses it to combat Bates's villain. I think it's just really interesting look at what spirituality is, and one of those early generations, one of those early war generations who kind of lost it and didn't even know what they were missing in their life, and spent so much time looking for something which they themselves kind of abandoned, for something to replace it. And for me, that was really interesting, and I love the performances, loved the way that it was put together. It was a really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to watching it again, and picking at the odds and ends, and finding more stuff to enjoy about it. But
I wish I saw
really
the movie
enjoyed it.
you saw.
That's the movie I saw. But like I say, I do believe it is a thing to know the English church and how I just didn't believe in God at like 9 because I'd been to the church enough times. I was, God, this does not inspire me in any way, shape, or form. I do not believe it. We are, in a way, the least spiritual place on earth, and I think that's what this film gets at. And that post-war generation was one of the first to really cast off their spirituality, and that's what the film was about for me.
Apparently, me and T are just too American, and I buy it. I'm not going to argue, y'all. You guys saw a totally different movie than we did. That's all I've noticed. It's interesting. That's all, because we usually it's minor stuff when you get the societal chain, break. So I think this is probably the biggest difference we've drawn on a film. So that in and of itself is
it does happen. There's stuff that has always felt a little bit American for me to properly connect with it, and it does happen.
I think there's also, it may seem like a bit of a cop-out, but there's also a reading of it, and this is spoilery, and that the framing shows, he could just be making it all completely, and even in making up that tale, he can't even, make himself more interesting and powerful than a magical hobo that turns up on a doorstep.
That would be interesting, but then that also goes against the whole ending because it happens again.
I just think I think there's still enough in there to sort of give you wiggle room for that. But as I say, that could just seem like a cop out. But I do think it's like the way it is framed does allow for some of that interpretation.
Look, if Alan Bates turns up at our house, stay for a bit, our bed's plenty big, he's more than welcome. That's all I'm saying.
Are you giving him Stephanie or yourself or both? I just want to be clear.
Him being the dealer.
Dealer's choice. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, reasonable. I'm not, okay.
That's me, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I will go with the 70s giallo, Sergio Martino. All the Colours of the Dark. I've got to do a quick synopsis, haven't I? I hate doing this. All the Colours of the Dark is about a woman who was involved in a car accident. An unseen car accident, and has found herself quite paranoid about her life and the people in it, and people who may or may not be watching her, and the film explores this. This was my least favourite of the week, and that shouldn't suggest that I didn't like it, because I did. It cuts up pretty neatly into the 3-act structure in that I liked the first act. It was really nicely shot. It had really dynamic camera work. It was intriguing. I loved the score, especially as the film progresses and you get these kind of weird, kind of demonic hippie jam session pieces of music that work really. I really liked the first act, and then the second act really blew me away. Like, that second act is really strong, because suddenly I'm looking at all the male characters in this film and thinking, I actually do not trust anyone. I do not trust one single person in this fucking film. And there's a scene where protagonist is trying to like open the door. She's too paralyzed by paranoia, and it made me realize that not only is the second act really good, not only am I really enjoying this, it made me look at the first act better, because I realized the first act had really like just smartly leveling up the paranoia right up to. I was really enjoying it. I loved. Here we go with the pronunciation. I'm going with Edwidge Fenech. I'm going with that. She was really strong, especially in that second act. Like, obviously, she's very beautiful, but you know, also like Gillian Jacobs. If you catch her at the wrong angle, she does have a little bit of a contemporary Michael Jackson look to her. But generally, she's very beautiful. But her performance is really strong in the second act. Like those big eyes really register terror and confusion and panic, and she does a great job. Like by the end of the second act, I was 100% in, and then I feel like it falls apart a bit for me because Martino wants to do reveal and he wants to do twists, and for me, this is as much a paranoid as it is a giallo. With a paranoid thriller, like you cannot tie things up as neatly as this film does, and you can't have everything be so unsurprising, and you can't have the motives be quite so dull and to be revealed in such a matter-of-fact way. This, for me, this film needed to keep going on with the ambiguity. This film needed to end on an ambiguous note. This needed to just keep going higher and higher with the paranoia and the craziness, and it just kind of grinds to a bit of halt to just. It does what I don't know why it works so well. Psycho tells you just tells you what the film was about, but it does not work here. Like sit in an office, be told what went on, and everything's just wrapped up too well. It just kind of bugged me. Like I wanted this to go full paranoid, crazy thriller, and it just didn't. And yeah, I was a little disappointed. I like giallos. I feel like giallos are the one genre of film, subgenre of film, just not made for us to watch at home. Those films are definitely green. You gotta watch it in a cinema, big, and it's blaring, and the music is like it should be fucking assaulting you. I feel like we're never gonna get the full giallo effect on these at home. But otherwise, you know, like I said, I really liked I thought Fennec was really good. I thought the male, the repulsive, like skittering, slivery male actors were really good at just being untrustworthy shit. I wasn't interested in the real twist, painstakingly explaining the plot to me. But I enjoyed it for the.
Oh, you want me to go, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Well, I had to get into the
Hi.
giallo feel, you know.
Oh yeah, okay, I like it. Yes.
I've seen this before. I would watch it again. I like all the colours of the dark. I just think it's a good time. I think any film gets bonus points when it has Finesse in a main role, and she's good here. I prefer Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. It's also by Sergio Martino, and actually The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. They are both a bit better than this, but I mean this is a nice and comfortable Kevin 7. I think it does enough to ramble along for the first section, then start to mix things up a bit, And then, as you expect, you get all of the full exposition and everything playing out in the third act, which is what you want from this kind of thing, when it is going by, the sort of paint by numbers at times giallo template. And I think it's I think it's a fun murder mystery, and I mean, you get 100% every finish. What's not to like? In fact, now I can't think of it though. Is it actually a giallo?
Yes,
I mean, do you get enough of
100%.
Yeah, you get enough of the mystery and
No
the
giallos or mysteries. Don't ever call them mysteries again.
well, you do something.
No.
You get a lot where you don't see the killer till the end. I mean, there may be someone standing there with the arrow pointing at them, saying, "This is the killer," but they
But they're never
pretend.
well thought out or have a coherent plot that holds together under any thought. So they're murder sprees where they go, "Hey, it's this guy at the end," or a woman. It's often a
Yeah,
woman
well,
or child.
when you get the info dump.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, in that case, I still like this, but I do, I prefer those other ones I mentioned from Martino. They are just a bit better, but this certainly does enough to keep fans of this particular kind of thing happy.
I really like this one a lot, and I knew I would as soon as I saw it was directed by Sergio Martino. He also made Torso, which is so fucking good. I love Torso, but his stuff always has this like wonderfully sleazy, psychosexual atmosphere with these super gross male characters. All the men in his movies are gross as fuck, and I kind of every one of them. Just I'm falling in the Kevin side with this though, and I always see it categorized as giallo, and I can see that. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's more giallo in style than it is plot. I mean, this feels more in line with like Polanski's Apartment trilogy than it does with something like Deep Red. Even though there is a killer with a knife, so maybe I'm wrong, and I most likely am. But I just get stronger Rosemary's Baby paranoia vibes and I do an Argento style giallo vibe, if that makes any sense at all. I mean, the cinematography is great though. I mean, some of those nightmarish visuals are incredible, very dreamlike. I really like the cast. The lead plays a woman on the verge of a total mental breakdown so well and so believable. Her performance in this is very strong. Just a really good performance. The score was really good. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, there's a bit of a lull in the second act, but that's just very nitpicky. It's really good stuff, and it's a really good film in a pretty solid week of film. So yeah, I dug this one.
I also like, well, okay, let me rephrase. I like bits of this one. I think the first two-thirds are really good. It looks good. It's well shot. It's decently paced. Edwige France Ferneck. Who else? I'm totally okay. Yeah, Edwige Ferneck, Susan Scott, and Marina Malfatti are all gorgeous and naked. So that's a plus. And they all do really well. I do think I do think George Hilton is a bit of a weak spot in this one. Who, by the way, fun fact, was married to Sergio Martino's cousin. I bet you didn't. I bet you did know that actually. I 100% bet Kevin knew that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
I did not. I was still sorry. I was distracted trying to
Yeah,
think
you're
of
good.
how that made it fun. How was that fun? That's
It's
just
just
more.
I call all facts fun facts because facts are fun. Fuck you, Kevin. Don't judge my fucking fun fact. It's a fun fucking fact. Damn it. I guess.
No, it was plenty fun, Daddy Griswold.
That's right. Ah! 2/3 are a lot of fun. The cult's goofy nonsense, but they're very of their time, and it's fun. I like how they film those scenes. I think Edwin French is like, she is at a fever pitch throughout the whole movie, and I think she's an absolute joy. I really like, again, the first 2/3. I think it does fall apart in the final act. The rush to suddenly make George Hilton a hero instead of, the red herring he's been, the absolutely goofy rushed explanation. Like, I it just does not stick the landing, but I think the 2/3 that lead up to it are a lot of fun and do some good stuff. I would probably recommend some of Martino's other giallos over this one. Like, Torso was named. That one's really good. I remember enjoying. He kind of segues into sex comedies after a while, so like, he did one with what's his name? Marty Feldman, called Sex with a Smile. He'd bounce between sex comedies and giallo, but like The Suspicious Death of a Minor, I think, is a really good one. I really like some of his stuff, and this one it's solid. It's a solid one. It is worth watching. It's not my favorite, but it is a good one. All right. So that
Can we just quickly say, for the
Yeah.
benefit of everyone listening, that we all know we all pronounced her name differently every
yes,
time we said it. Just
yes,
like we know,
yeah, I know.
we're not good with pronunciations, and people
Oh.
should know that by now.
By now, we've made that we make that comment almost every other week. Especially when we're talking about Asian films.
I don't think I've heard her name said aloud by someone, and she is, quite an icon.
I don't think I haven't
but,
either. I've read it a lot.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
I can spell it.
Maybe other
yeah.
people weren't sure how to pronounce it and have never said.
That could be. All right, so last but certainly not least is the 1992 sci-fi horror adaptation of the Japanese series by Hideyoki Kikuchi. I said that wrong. The Wicked City. This was directed by Peter Mack and produced and written by Hong Kong legend Sue Hark. As you should know, Hark was a writer and producer on an absolute shit ton of awesome movies, including a bunch of John Woo films like A Better Tomorrow and The Killer. He also he did the 92 Raymond Lee's Dragon Gate Inn. He did Iron Monkey, Black Mask. What else? He wrote and produced the Once Upon a Time in China series, Zoo Warriors from the Magic Mountain. Going off, memory, and my memory sucks. And he'd eventually start directing stuff, including 2 Van Damme films we covered that Tyler loves, Double Team and Knockoff. More recently, he's done the Detective D series, which is solid stuff. Anyway, so it is about secret cops fighting either the Raptors or the Reptoids, depending on the version you see. In Hong Kong, the Raptors/Reptoids are supernatural monsters that can transform and live off energy, and there's fighting to stay alive in a war for energy with the normal population of Hong Kong. Buddy cops Taki and Kin, or Yang, depending again on the version, are tasked with stopping them. Turns out Kin is part raptor. They're occasionally helped by Orchid or Lo, again, depending on the version. Or no, Taki is in love with Orchid or Lo, a former informant, and no, I'm so confused. Orchid is the cop. Wendy is the girl he loves. I'm sorry. I got all confused, and I got you guys all confused. I should have looked at the synopsis on Wiki earlier than I did. And, shenanigans ensue. I really like Wicked City. I prefer the animated film more. We covered that last year, I think. Do you guys remember offhand?
I think it was
not present.
Yeah, I think it was
not.
last year, the beginning
Yeah.
of last year, I think.
Yeah, it was a Japanuary thing. I really enjoyed this one. I don't think it's great. It's cheesy, but the fights are fun. The wire fu is decent. There's some really fun transitions, which are all done with pretty simple double exposure and step frame optical effects. There's a lot of fun makeups, including the pinball girl, which, like, I loved pinball before, but if I can do that, I would love it even more. It gets a little, as I proved trying to describe it, it gets a little convoluted and a little confusing, especially if you saw like a version that I saw where they kept changing names halfway through, like scene to scene. It was like totally different people wrote the screenplay. So, I mean, hopefully if you decide to watch it, you see a more coherent version, but it is a solid, decently made early 90s slice of Hong Kong weirdness with lots of sex and effects. And I don't have much to say about it, but I enjoy it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Don't fight.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, this is a good one. I mean, I was just gonna start and say, like, Tatsuya Nakadai fucks a woman, a cyborg woman who he has forcibly turned into a motorbike, and that was going to be my review. Say 5 stars. You don't really have to say much more than that, but I will because I kind of have to. There are lots of things I liked about it, but the main thing magic is, I guess somebody realized that all of the qualities that make anime from that era so enjoyable are not really part of Japanese live action filmmaking, but Hong Kong filmmaking of that era is very much the live action equivalent of anime. Like, it is wildly hyper melodramatic in a way that Japanese cinema doesn't pull off. Like, Hong Kong was a perfect home for this. The hyper melodrama, the bizarre aesthetics, like the aesthetics of this film, crazy. Like, some of the angles in this are so Dutch, scaling a building in the Batman series. So most of the film is so blue, has such a strong blue filter. Like, Derek Jarman could only dream of making a film blue. It is wildly fucking blue. It's just this film is one scene of angsty, rain-drenched melodrama, followed by just the most unhinged camera work and editing you've ever seen in the action scenes, and it's just melodrama, action, and just Hong Kong is the perfect home for it, and it's so fun, and it's so well paced. Like, some of the CGI is iffy, but the practical effects are outstanding. Like, there are so many, like, exploding heads, there's so many severed heads. There's a scene where these crazy fucking characters are, like, cutting cars in half in this standout, like, action scene in a warehouse, because they love their warehouses in Hong Kong cinema. It's just it's crazy, and it's so melodramatic. It is so sincere. Like, you see, if it had been made by a Japanese company, I don't think they could have committed to Ken's full, like, transformation into being, like, they tried to make it so heartfelt, make it just like a villain from, like, the 60s Star Trek series. He looks terrible, but they play it so sincere and down the fucking line. And I just think, it really worked for me. Like I would like to see more Hong Kong takes on Japanese anime because it's a perfect fucking marriage. Cast are great. Tatsuya Nakadai just chewing the scenery like I've never before. It's wonderful. The dialogue is kind of terrible, but again, the melodrama well done with such sincerity, and just occasionally it's just very funny. Like there's exposition in this film, which is just like super entertaining because the way it's delivered. I like there's not a pause. Doesn't stop for the entirety of its always something enjoyable up on the screen, and it flew by for me, and I had a really, really good time. So more, I don't know for other examples, Dave will know, but if there are takes on Japanese anime, I want to see. Yeah, perfect marriage.
I do
Well,
not want to see them.
Real quick, we did one just a couple months ago. That's what Riki-Oh is.
Very true, very true.
Yeah.
And
There's
same
an
thing,
initial
really.
D. Yeah, there's an initial D live action that's a lot of fun. I mean, they do some nice collabs.
No
Okay,
one
go on,
does
Kevin.
melodrama like
I'm
Hong Kong
sorry.
90s. No one.
No one. Yeah.
No.
And no one should, because I'm not a fan.
You didn't weep when Ken fully transformed into a reptoid and died.
No, this didn't work.
Something wrong with you.
It just I was very confused for this one as well. But unlike 964 Pinocchio, this one felt like you were supposed to, keep following the story, but then it went from one bizarre moment to the next, and at the end sort of wound down. It was like a traditional movie ending, setting up potential for another adventure or tying, strands up, whatever. It was like that. And I was still confused at the end. I was like, am I supposed to care about some of these characters now? Because I didn't care about anyone. I just sat here thinking of different movies that I was reminded of, either because they were influenced by the anime or by this tale, or because they in turn perhaps influenced Wicked City. So it was just kind of a disappointing mess. Although I was amused by the idea of someone trying to insult someone else by saying, yeah, your girlfriend's a bike. And then a guy getting angry and then being like, no, she's a literal bike. She's a motorbike. And now you can somehow be inside the bike, but you and the bike are melding together, but you're in the bike. And yeah, that's where my mind went while someone was getting in a bike. No, some of the practical effects were okay. I didn't. I wasn't invested in anything here, and I didn't enjoy any of the spectacle as it was presented. I know there were moments I was supposed to like, but I kind of liked the bike bit because it was just so odd and enjoyably crazy. But no, none of the rest worked for me. I'm sorry, Linus, but I will make it up with my choice for next week. I'm just teasing that now.
Fuck Kevin remix is coming for our for our theme song.
I'll use it just so you like. use the Fuck Dave remix. You bring it. I will use it. It's a good theme song.
I kind of love this actually. I know it's based off an anime, a really solid anime actually, and this actually feels like an anime come to life on screen. I mean, it's just so fucking bonkers in the actual best way possible, and just a neon lit hybrid of sci-fi, horror, action, a little neo noir, some romance tossed in. There's some body horror. I mean, the colors in this movie, man. I loved everything about the visual style of this thing. I mean, the practical effects are a lot of fun. There's monsters, a puking demon, a villain that just hams that shit up, a horny pinball machine. I mean, there really isn't a coherent bone in this movie's body. I mean, nothing really makes sense at all, but who cares? Just like a guy fucks a pinball machine, bro. $1 million man pinball machine at that. Lee Majors would be proud of this. Just yeah, he would be proud. I was shocked when that was $1 million man pinball machine. I just thought that was awesome. But yeah, the movie's awesome. I mean, it moves quick. It looks great. The third act goes off the fucking rails. I mean, yeah, it's a mess. Kevin isn't wrong at all. I mean, the movie is a fucking mess, but it's a pretty special mess. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one a lot. I actually did like the anime a little bit more. I thought the anime was a little bit just. I mean, the anime wasn't coherent either, but just a little more coherent because I have a feel. It feels like this story just lends itself better to animation than it does live action. But yeah, it's fun. I really enjoyed this one.
I'm sorry, I was on a deep dive of Hong Kong live action anime adaptions, and there's a few that would be a lot of fun.
Yay.
I mean, there's quite a few. Anyway, it's time to pick one. For me, I think it's got to be 964 Pinocchio.
Yep, with Dave 964 Pinocchio.
Yeah, I've been toing and throwing with 964 Pinocchio and the shout, but I'm gonna go with the anti-establishment fuck you idness of 964 Pinocchio.
I'm always won over by the nightmare scenario of an unexpected guest, so I have to go with the shout.
Shout was a very close second. But,
Next week, yeah. Next week, it's me and Kevin picking. So, Kevin, what do you have for us?
Well, hopefully this is enough to get Linus to avoid sending the fuck Kevin version of our tune. I am going to get us all watching The Ballad of Wallace Island.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm aware of Linus liking this, or I just think it's one he would like, but I'm appealing to his good nature, and I'm basically podcast groveling at this point.
I mean, yeah, you are podcast groveling. Why are you podcast groveling? Jesus, dude.
It's always difficult when we have guest picks, and then
I mean,
like
I don't know why
shit
you'd
on
expect
Sally.
someone to like a overtly extended version of a mediocre short film, but that's up to you, man.
Ooh, Carrie Mulligan's in it. I mean,
It is. She is in it. I am. I'm going to stay in Asia personally because I realize it's been a hot minute since we've seen a Meiko Keiji film, and three of my favorite ones we've only covered one in that series, and it was the middle one. So I'm going back to female prisoner Scorpion. Female prisoner 701 Scorpion. Yay!
Nice.
is that the first one?
That is the first one.
First one. Okay, got it.
I waffled between the first and the third one. I mean, I love them both, but I decided to do something less sewer centric, so I chose not to do the third one.
Okay.
Now, maybe if we do a ninja, like if I get 2 picks, I might match that with a Ninja Turtles movie just for cohesion, but not yet. Hey, Tyler,
Yes.
Let's celebrate 964 Pinocchio by giving them the bidness.
We're on Instagram, Raiders _of_the_ podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. I didn't remember to post anything this week, and it's the week that we have a guest pick. So sorry, Linus, that was my bad. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment and watch Kevin's awesome videos weekly. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
As always, thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you all next week.
Woo, see you next
Yeah.
week.
There you go.